there's a topic that I just want to get straight to the point that I want to discuss, which is what's going on right now with the shootings that are still going on. It's been going on for some time, but primarily the one in Texas, which is pretty major right now. I got to tell you, it's something that we have got to really address and take to the next level. And when I talk about the next level, what I'm referring to is what I see is this slogan that's going around. I guess I hate to use the term slogan, but I'm just going to use it because I can't think of another term to say. But the slogan is, in terms of the protests and the rallies that have been going on is, that were going on is Black Lives Matter. We need to take it to another level, and I'm going to tell you something. I understand what our brothers and sisters are doing, and I think it's great, but here's the problem with that slogan. We've got to take it up a notch. We know our lives matter, but we are more than just black people. Remember, that term like Negro, like nigger, like, excuse my French, like African American, these are all designated terms that have been given to us over, the period of our history of captivity, okay, and the diaspora. Okay, this is a term that's been given to folks with Negro ancestry all over the world, not just here in the Americas. Excuse me, I hate to use that terminology, especially the bywords, the N-word. But getting to the point, the reason why I'm bringing them up is as long as our people continue to use these words, and even the byword, the N-word, our people are never, N-I-G-G with a double G, our people are never going to really realize who we really are. So the point I'm making is we need to scrap the slogan of Black Lives Matter. It's not about black lives. It is about Hebrew lives, brothers and sisters. What we need to get out, out there, to our community is the fact that Hebrew lives matter, because that's who they're killing. They're killing the children of Jacob. Okay, Hebrews' lives matter, and more importantly, the lives of Jacob, the children of Jacob, matter to the Most High. Now, why do we need to say that? Because that's who we are. They're not killing a bunch of black people. Okay, well, what is the term black? Okay, that's a color of a crayon. Okay, that's just some color, in what we call a prism, right? What we call the color spectrum. No, that's not who we are. Okay, our skin tone isn't even black. We're people of color, brown people. Okay, we are the children of Jacob. They're killing off the seed of Jacob. And not only are they killing off the seed of Jacob, because they're trying to essentially genocide our people, primarily, especially right now, the men, but they're also including now our children, which they did back in the day in the South, with the, KKK movement, which was essentially part of the order of the Jesuits, okay, which was part of the Catholic Church. You might want to look into that history. So listen, if our people don't understand at this juncture that history is not important, then, our people are never going to figure this out, okay, because now they're killing children and using them as part of their ritualistic sacrifices, which they were doing back in the days of the South, because that's what that whole, KKK thing was all about. Okay, that's why they were running around with the mark of Cain, burning crosses on people's lawn. That was all part of that, the ritualistic sacrifice. It just wasn't a racist thing. And you guys, brothers and sisters, I think our people really have no idea what's really going on and how, it is stranger than fiction, but it is real. And we can't sit here and just think that this is all about, racism. It is way beyond racism. You have no idea what's going on. Just like the whole bald, archways that they're setting up, they're trying to set up around the world. They were displaying in London and in New York. Do you really think this is all just some coincidence? No. And then all of a sudden now a 12-year-old kid, was shot and killed. And this has been ongoing. So it's really time for our people to understand they're killing off the children of Jacob for a reason. Okay? And what we need to do is get out to the community, This needs to go to each and every one of our people. The message is we shouldn't be out there protesting saying Black Lives Matter, because as long as you're saying Black Lives Matter, all our people are doing is playing into the narrative that they will use. And they will use that to draw a color line in the sand and say, you know what, this is about you, okay, and your hatred, not ours, because you're talking about Black Lives Matter. Well, what about everybody else? And see, that's the narrative they're using. Oh, you guys, you just want to start a race war. See, because that's the narrative. Okay, they will play on your, let's just put it this way, they will play on your naivete. Okay, as long as we keep running around allowing them to designate who we are, they will use that against us every time our people go out there and protest. And by the way, we are protesting. The whole protesting is a waste of time, by the way, because, you know, for some reason our people don't understand the logic. It's like the definition of insanity, doing the same things, you know, the same thing over time and time in history and expecting different results. You know, do we really think marching in the streets on Capitol Hill or, you know, at their legislative branches and complaining about our children and our brothers and sisters being shot up, you know, our brothers especially, that they're going to do something about it when they're the actual ones behind the trigger? I mean, our people are just kidding ourselves. Okay, they're not, you know, nothing is going to change until we initiate the change. Only we can stop this, okay, by doing what is necessary. First of all, we need to embrace who we are as the children of Jacob, and we need to stop all this African American and black, okay, you know, designated titles that we have been given, okay, by, you know, the man. And we need to start saying, hey, Hebrew lives matter. That's what needs to be going out, brothers and sisters out there in the communities, the black, what we call the black, so-called black communities. Hebrew lives matter. And more importantly, the children of Jacob matter to the Most High. That needs to be going on the t-shirts. That needs to be going viral, brothers and sisters. And why is this important? Because it's not about them. I'm not concerned about what they're going to say in their narrative on that, because all we're letting them know is our message. Okay, and our message to them, when we say Hebrew lives matter, the message is going out. Okay, this message is going out to our people and letting them know that we know who we are. We are embracing who we are, our heritage. Okay, and we are going to unite our tribes all over the world. This is going to be a global movement, that we are Hebrew, and it's time for us to wake up, embrace our heritage. Okay, so that we can prepare for the gathering of the Most High to bring us all back to our ancestral homeland, because they've stole all of our territories. Let's talk about that. Okay, our territory, not just the land what they call so-called Israel, okay, the land they designated when they stole our land in 1948, and this is what all this was about, you know, in terms of enslaving our people. But even part of the Shemitic territories that were all the way through, you know, Shem had territories all the way through, the sons of Shem were given territories through West Africa, all the way into Northeast Africa, even into Asia. That was part of our territories, and even into the Americas. Now, how do we know about the Americas? This is history, brothers and sisters. Let me show you something here. This is a picture of the Delaware Indians, known as, back in the 1600s, they were known as the Lenape Indians. Okay, they were also known as, again, Delaware Indians. William Penn, when he landed, okay, around, you know, 1683, he so-called put together some treaty. Essentially, just it was just a document to steal the land of our people. But this is what, as you can see here, this is the original depiction of what the Lenape Indians look like. They were dark-skinned people. As you can see, they had afro hair. And if you go online and you Google either Lenape Indians or just, you know, Lenape, what you're going to get on Wikipedia is some, you know, whitewashed, just like a lot of their history, you know, some of the pictures they've done in history are a lot of whitewashed versions of the Indians that settled in the Americas. You know, you're going to show them they're going to be much lighter, they're going to have these little mohawks, and these are the people that they had essentially, they bred into the population, and they had mixed with them. They brought them over, you know, some of them migrated from Mongolia, and they mixed with those people to create this this race they call the so-called Indians that are living on reservations today. But they just brought them in between the 1600s and 1800s to essentially, they taught them had our people teach all their customs, teach them all of our customs, and and then essentially set them up on our land when they started, slaughtering our people, and then they just tricked them and making them think that they were going to have that land, and when they would try to get the land back, this is all history, you can look it up. They essentially did the one-drop rule on those, the pale skin Indians, unfortunately, to essentially steal our lands. And made them think, unfortunately, that it was their lands, but said, hey, you know what, because you have Negro ancestry, you're really not Indian, because they were all, claiming, the ones that they had bred to look like, to essentially pretend to be us, were claiming that they were Indian, and they said, well, you're really not Indian, you've got Negro ancestry. If their grandmother or their grandfather or great-grandfather had any form of Negro ancestry, because some of them did intermix and intermingle and married our people, after the white man had mixed with them. So they said, hey, one drop taints the stream, the whole one drop rule thing, and they told them, no, you can't have that, you can't have your land. And after they had killed off most of our people that were living, on the lands, if they weren't sent in reservations. And the paler skin Indians that they, so-called Indians that they designated, they moved those folks to reservations and then slaughtered the rest of them. So, what was left of them, they either got moved to reservations and the others they slaughtered, just like they slaughtered our people. But that is the story in a nutshell. So, but what you'll see in a lot of these, paintings that they did in the 1800s and pictures even in the 1900s, you'll see these Mongolian-looking Indians, which really are the people that they have bred and created, not created, I don't like using that term, but they bred into, they essentially mixed and intermixed with these people, brought them over here, and designated them Native Americans. And that's pretty much that story. But let me tell you, this is what the people really look like. A lot of the indigenous people that were already here before Columbus, and these are the Delaware Indians known as Lenape. Now I'm going to read a document from William Penn when he landed, in Pennsylvania, around 1683. And this letter was from William Penn, describing, it was a letter that he sent to the Committee of the Free Society of Traders about the people of the land known as the Lenape Indians, the indigenous people that were living in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, and all that land, occupying Delaware and so on, known as the Lenape Indians. So I'm going to read a little bit from this, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit, just so, well, let me just read it at I'm going to read it first, and then I'll blow it up in a second. And this is describing the people, okay? So it says, let's see here. I want to cover, okay. So he says, the natives I shall consider in their persons, language, manners, religion, and government with my sense of their original. For their persons, they are generally tall, straight, well built, and of singular proportion. They tread strong and clever, and mostly walk with a lofty chin. Of complexion black, but by design as the gypsies in England. So they're saying, I mean, this guy's a piece of work. So he's saying, okay, they're black people, but I guess design, obviously, he's probably describing maybe some sort of their design, like maybe their characteristics, or maybe personality, maybe somewhat like the gypsies in England, which really is insulting, right? I mean, I don't know if he's trying to insult the people or what, but it's probably not a very good thing. And then he goes on to say, meaning these people are smart. They're not, obviously they're not they, our people were not stupid people, but I think that's what he's trying to say. So at any rate, but obviously that is not probably a compliment. So it says they greet, I guess that's, oh sorry, they grease, because the F's are S, it's in Old English. They grease themselves with bear's fat, clarified, and using no defense against sun or weather, because they were melanated people, so obviously they didn't need protection against sun exposure. Their skins must needs be swarthy. So their skins must needs be swarthy. So swarthy means black. Again, they're dark-skinned people. He says, and then he also describes their eyes. Now listen to this. He says their eye is little and black, not unlike a straight-looked Jew. Now I want to blow that up for you, because I want you to see that. Let me see if I can bring it over a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, he says, you gotta check this out here. Alright. So he says, their eye is little and black, not unlike a straight-looked Jew. Okay? That's J for Jew. So why would he go there? Why would he compare their eyes, meaning they had dark eyes, okay, to a Jew? Because the European Jews, typically they have, various color eyes. They don't typically have dark eyes. So what is that telling you? That William Penn knew what the children of Jacob, Judah, he knew what Judah looked like, okay? The children of the book. Okay, so they knew they were people of color, okay? Essentially what they call black people, okay? That's why he said straight-looked Jew, meaning that he didn't know these people were necessarily Jews, but he knew the Jews, what they call the so-called Jews, Hebrew people that were living in the lands, occupying certain territories, be it the Americas or in Africa, were people of color. That's why he's comparing these people, some of their characteristics, their eyes, with those people. And then he goes, the thick lip and flat nose, so frequent with the East Indians and blacks, are not common to them. For I have seen as commonly European-like faces among them of both as on their side the sea. And truly an Italian complexion hath not much more of the white, and the noses of several of them have as much of the Roman. So what he's saying is that these people essentially have, they have dark skin, but they look very European. Their features, their nose, they have, very, what they call a Roman nose, a very long, kind of straight, pointy nose. So that's very interesting, because the reason why I say that is if you read in Josephus' writings, there was a man who insulted the Hebrews, our people, and Josephus made a comment about that, and the man that was insulting the Hebrews, he made a comment that they had horse hair, or and long noses like horse noses. So in other words, our people were very, remember we had several different tribes, but our people were very distinctive looking, dark skin. We had, and this is just the ignorance of obviously Europeans, that they think black, people of color look one way. Okay, but Africa is the most diverse continent on the planet in terms of people, and any geneticist will attest to that. But again, you live in this is back in a time where you had a lot of ignorance. So this is how they coin people of color. They all, put them in, one compartment. They had a tendency, to, out of their ignorance, to compartmentalize people of color. So it was unusual when they saw someone that did not look typical of someone that they would consider of African descent, a person of color. Okay, so it says now, it gets more interesting here. It says their language is lofty yet narrow, but like the Hebrew. But like the Hebrew, their language. In signification, full like shorthand, and writing one word serveth in the place of three, and the rest are supplied by the understanding of the hearer. Now, it's interesting that even their language was like Hebrew. Okay, imperfect in their tenses, wanting in their moods, participles, adverbs, conjunctions, interjections. I have made it my business, says, yeah, business to understand, I guess, to understand it, that I might not want an interpreter on any occasion. And I must say that I know not an English, not a language spoken in Europe that hath words of more sweetness or greatness in accent and emphasis in there. So he says that they have a really, Hebrew is, remember, so what, in other words, these people are speaking some sort of dialect of Hebrew. Now, how do we know this? Okay, let me show you, for example. Okay, let me see here. There's a section here. Give me a second. Okay. So he uses some of their words here. Let me find it, but there's one that's a little bit more interesting. Gotta find it. Okay, so I can't seem to find it here, but he talks about some of their words here. So let me just give you an example. So he says, if one asks them for anything they have not, they will answer mata nahata, which to translate is not I have, instead of I have not. So if you look at that word mata nahata, so those are essentially Hebrew words. The only thing they're missing are the H on the end. Mata. In Hebrew, the ah sound is very prevalent throughout the language in many of the words. So, you know, when you look at the word mata nahata, okay, those are Hebrew words. So, and then there's another, let's see if I can find it. Maybe it's in this picture here. No, it doesn't cover it there. But it was actually, they said something, I was reading one of the other letters, that they actually use a word to greet people, and the word is ita, I-T-A-H, which is also actually a Hebrew word, with the H on the end. I just can't find it here in this particular section. But the point I'm making, it's in one of the other letters I was reading. William Penn, it's the same letters, just maybe in another section. I thought it was in this section. But the point I'm making is these people were, they were Hebrew people, okay, that he encountered. They were Hebrew, like quite a few of the tribes that had settled here, that were here in the Americas before they got here, and they essentially stole our people's land. Even, part of America was part of our Shemitic territory. So do we have a right? The reason why I am bringing this up, because history is very important, brothers. We have been here for literally thousands of years before these people got here. More than 3,000 years, even in the Americas, we were settlers. We were all, our territory was huge. We have the sons of, the children of Jacob have the best land on earth. This is why we have been subjugated, we have been oppressed by these people to keep us dormant of our history, so we can't wake up, reclaim our heritage, the inheritance the Most High have given us in our native homeland. They call Israel, which is essentially northern Judah and southern Judah, okay? Not the pagan name they gave it, known as Israel. But the point is, they don't want us to wake up. They want to keep us asleep. And only we can stop this. Because as long as we run around talking about Black Lives Matter, all we're doing is playing into their narrative. And they'll just keep using this whole color line to, to basically use that as a way of dismissing us. We're not going to be dismissed anymore. What we need to do is we need to take the movement up a notch. And let me talk about something. Only we can stop all of this. As long as we keep going to them. See, first of all, people are going to the wrong people for help. Not going to happen. Okay, they're here to enslave you, okay, because they are serving the agenda of their fathers, okay, their father Lucifer and his fallen angels, okay, to keep you down and to wipe off humanity, what's left of humanity on this planet. I'm going to show you a video probably in a few minutes, just to kind of touch on this, because this is something we have to talk about. We're not going to sit here because the more our people understand that what they're dealing with, and this is why all this inhumanity is going on the planet, is because the people that are running this planet right now aren't really human. Okay, they're not. They're the children of the fallen angels. Okay, and we've got to understand that you're not gonna get humanity from people that really there's very little or no humanity left. Okay, and remember, when they keep marrying each other, they're just phasing out what's left. That's why they got these clone centers and all this, because they're trying to find a way to they're trying to find a way to live on this planet, extend their reign and continue living on this planet dominion as long as they can, because they know what happens to them when they die. There's no resurrection for these people, brothers and sisters. You have to understand that. There is literature, there's information in the scriptures to help us to understand this, and I'm going to cover it at some point another time, but they know that, and that's why do you think they're creating these cloning centers that people are talking about too? Well, I don't need to check into that, because I already know. No surprises. They've done films on this stuff. I mean, there was a film that was done maybe a year ago that talked about all of this, how a man was trying to transfer his spirit into another, or his soul, or whatever, spirit, essentially, wouldn't be soul but spirit, into another person, so he could continue his immortality, or what he thinks is immortality on this planet. They're already letting you know what they're doing. Okay, they have to let you know, like one of our people was saying. It's up to us whether we're paying attention or not. So their films, they're telling you the story of what they're doing, and they're revealing their plan to you, in terms of genociding, humanity, and what they're doing, what they're up to. It's really up to our people to be paying attention or not. But it's up to us to put an end to all of this. And I'm going to cover something really important here. How do we know this? This is up to Jacob. Only we can stop this. The scriptures tells us. See, by denying who we are denying the prophecy of what is going to happen, because in order for these prophecies to take place, our people have got to come up out of this dormant state of programming that we have been under by the subjugation of our enemies. Okay, because as long as we're still under the programming and we're asleep, that we haven't awakened, our consciousness to embracing who we are as Judah, as the children of Jacob, they win. They continue their domain on this planet. They continue to rule this planet. The wicked ones, the children of the fallen, that Lucifer has given his authority to. Okay, some of his authority to rule over humanity, because he wants his whole plan design is to really destroy what is left of humanity, and he's using his children to do that. That's why do you think? And also obviously to ruin the seed of Jacob, what's left of the remnant seed of our people. So only our people can stop this. Now, how do we know this? If we don't embrace who we are, we will not be able to bring an end to this whole thing. Okay, because they don't want, this is why they whitewash everything, and all you see on television when you see movies about Israel, all you see, ancient Israel, what they call so-called Israel, which is, our, the land of Judah, our land, all you see is, these ridiculous looking white people running around in these films. Okay, and the reason why, this is all part of the programming, to essentially mess up your head, so you don't understand that you play a valid role in all of this, in history. They want you to think that you got no history, and that ain't your history, that's their history. Okay, so this is why they're jacking up your head, so you don't realize and to continue with the programming, because they don't want you to understand you play a very important part of the prophecy. And until our people wake up and do what the Most High is waiting for us to do, okay, they continue to reign. Do you understand that? And let me help you understand the truth of this matter while I'm trying to explain this to you. It is written in the scriptures. So it says, this is in a book they removed, again, because they don't want people to know the truth, and especially our people. The book of Esdras, 2nd Esdras, and this is chapter 6, verse 8. It says, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." This is really important. This is verse 9. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 9. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Verse 10. "The hand of man is betwixt," okay, that means between. I'm going to read that again. "The hand of man is between the heel and the hand." Okay, so stop right there. So what is this telling us, brothers and sisters? The hand of man is between the heel and the hand. Remember in the last video, not the last video, but one of the videos I covered on my Jacob series, I said that who is the heel? In Hebrew, okay, they have designated Jacob's name, rather, in Hebrew, Akab, or Akab. And Akab means heel. Okay, that is the name that they have designated Jacob, the heel. Jacob is the heel. Okay, so we need to understand, what is this telling us? The heel of the hand, okay, is between the heel and the hand. So if we go to, so let's go to, let me see if I found it. Hosea. We're going to go to Hosea. Sorry, brothers and sisters. Let me find it here. Okay, Hosea chapter 12, verse 3. So we go to Hosea chapter 12, verse 3. It says right here, okay, that Hosea, book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had power with the Most High. He took his brother by the heel in the womb. This is Jacob. And by his strength he had power. Power with the Most High. Do you understand what that means? Yea, he had power over the angel. Did you see the video I did that covered who was the angel that Jacob wrestled? Who was the angel that Jacob wrestled? Do you understand how this is all connected? Let me go. Keep going. Yea, he had power over the angel. That's the angel they're talking about. That was covered in the video. If you haven't seen that video I've done on Jacob, please watch the video. Okay, this is all relative. He had power over the angel and prevailed against them. And prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spake with us. Okay, so in other words, understand, okay, when he's saying he spoke with angels. So he had power. He prevailed over the angel. So what is that telling you? That only the power through the Most High, okay, the Most High, through his power can we defeat the wicked ones. Okay, Lucifer and his children, because the Most High has given Jacob the strength and the power to do it. So only we can do this, brothers and sisters. So this is why you can't depend. Don't expect these people. No change is going to come about. Okay, you see what's going on. Things ain't getting any better right now. It's getting worse, right? You see the genocide that's going on. Now, you know, only our Father in heaven can put an end to all of this. Through Jacob, our people. So this is why our people have got to wake up and say the new line is not Black lives, Hebrew lives matter, brothers and sisters. That needs to go out there. And let these people know, we know what you've done to our people, and guess what? We don't want no more of your lies. We're embracing our heritage, and the Most High is gonna bring us back, And he is going to take back everything that you have destroyed and taken from our people. He is going to bring it back and put an end to all of this. That's what we need to let him know. That guess what? We're no longer, okay? We are no longer part of their divergent scheme. Okay? That we're awake. That is the message. It's time to wake up, Jacob. So I'm going to show you another video probably in a few minutes. Check it out, because again, this is what we're dealing with. And no, we need to be aware, okay, and understand the enemy that we are dealing with, and the enemy is real. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and may the Most High bless.